Ta-da!
What? I can't believe it. An XZ9? 32-bit oversampling, 24-track sequencer. It converts what you play into sheet music so you can print it out.
My name's Takaya. I came onto the show quite randomly as it was my first TV audition that I'd ever been to, as I get dripped on here. And I went through the auditions and I was really surprised actually that when I did get the role.
Taka. Taka's really great. I met Taka in my audition for Jackie. He was really nice, and I remember I was very sick the day of my audition, but the day that I got home from Sydney back to Melbourne, and Mum was like, "Oh, how's the audition?" I was like, "Yeah, good." She was like, "Oh, how are the guys that were auditioning for the brother character?" I was like, "Oh, they were really good. There's this one guy that I know will get it. He's a great actor," and that was Taka. So maybe I should be a casting agent. But he's an amazing actor, and he's really into stage work.
Yeah. My first impression of Taka, I met him and I was like, "Oh, hey, how you going? I'm Marny, I'm playing Ali." And he's like, "Yeah, Taka, I'm gonna play Josh." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And after like a couple of minutes of conversation, he let out this great laugh, and
Taka's laugh is just...
I'd been spending a lot of time, for example, with Charlotte, and we think our jokes are hilarious.
Yeah.
But every time I make a great call, Charlotte doesn't think they're exactly hilarious.
So it's great having Taka around because he laughs so much.
It's great, and it's a great confidence boost. It's like, yeah.
He actually does the throwing his head back, and it's like, that's Taka's laugh.
Oh yeah.
Your next scene is the kissing scene with Emma. What's your thoughts before filming the scene?
Well, before going into the scene, which is our big kiss scene for me and Sophie, the girl playing Emma, it's part of the job and it's not something I'm worried too much about.
That's why we're here at the pool, because he's going to do his big Bond moment where he comes out of the water, dripping wet.
Yeah. So I think he's been looking forward to that one personally. I reckon he's pumped for it.
It should be fun. It's part of the job, and I'm not worried about having to kiss Sophie at all, and I don't think anyone would be really.
So why don't we do what we should have done months ago?
What's that?
Go out on a date. That way we can have some fun before we break up.
Brilliant, Em. And there's something else we should have done months ago.
What's that?
Yeah. How are you enjoying Singapore?
This is my first time I've been to Singapore. I really like Singapore. The people are great. It's very clean and it's very safe. And it's only the humidity that can get to you sometimes, but otherwise it's all right.
You don't get to dance in the show. Would you have been happy to dance?
I definitely would have been happy to dance. Dancing I find really enjoyable, so there was no issue if I would have had to dance, and there were rumours to begin with that I would, but that I don't, I'm not that upset about it. It's all right. I can get away with it. So.
Has there been any problems filming here on location in Singapore?
We've been filming for a couple of weeks now in Singapore, and there's a few things you've got to get prepared for in Singapore, and one thing is the weather. The weather can change at any moment, and this morning was one example. We were filming over on the tennis court on the other side of the building here, and it was bright and sunny, and then an instant later a thunderstorm came through, and the umbrellas were everywhere, the cameras were all covered, and it was really coming down. So we went back to the makeup truck, and then I got changed, and we had a couple of scenes that were supposed to be shot later in the day, about this time. As you can see, it's quite sunny now, where it was supposed to be raining, and we were going to get in all these rain machines to make rain, but instead we just used the natural rain that was coming down, and we shot those scenes instead. So it was a bit crazy and a bit hectic, but I knew my lines, so it was okay.
I had to switch off all our computers until the thunderstorm's over.
Thunderstorm?
Where are you? On Mars?
Where am I? I'm at the mall shopping.
Hear that? It's wild. I started to go to soccer training, had to turn back.
What are the things you are missing the most being away from home?
The main thing about being away for 8 weeks for me is really just missing my friends and family and those who are close to me. It does make it hard being away from them for such a long period of time for the first time, but I'm dealing with it pretty well, I think, and it'll be fine once I get back and everything will be back to normal then. But otherwise, it's a great experience and it's great to be here otherwise. So